Tesla, no shrimp for you. What a great title and a great image. We absolutely need to read this. Surely it's got to be worth it, right? I saw this posted from Donald Trump Jr., who said, "The truth about Tesla is interesting." So here we are on the article. Tesla, no shrimp for you. Automotive journalists hate Tesla because they don't hand out free shrimp. Somewhere between the open bar at the Rolls-Royce press launch in Barcelona and a beach retreat in Hawaii for the Hyundai Kona, a quiet resentment festers. Listen closely and you can hear a journo saw. That's what we call outdated automotive journalists in the business bitching about Tesla. Not because Tesla makes bad cars, quite the opposite. It's because Tesla's success threatens their own. That's because Tesla hosts no glamorous press drives in far-off locations, no tomahawk steaks, no free-flowing champagne at the St. Regis in Aspen, where a car company is trying to convince you that they're hip, that you belong. I guess that also means no free BJs from Tesla. There's no shrimp cocktail tower at a Tesla event. In fact, there isn't a Tesla event. No velvet ropes, no track day, no handsome German engineer telling you about body rigidity while you nod and pretend to understand torsional stiffness. Tesla doesn't play the game. Bro, this article is spitting facts. And for a certain kind of automotive journalist, that's unforgivable. Now, bro, hit the nail on the fucking head here. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Tesla doesn't play the game. They don't give a fuck. They don't need to play by the rules. They don't need to play the game. Their products are so compelling. There's no need to wine and dine, to coerce, to influence, to butter up the media and quote-unquote automotive journalists. They don't need to. Name a company in the same industry producing vehicles that has a sea of content creators raving about the company, their products, the opportunity, even from an investment point of view. They don't exist. Why? Because there's no other company that doesn't need to play the game. They must spend hundreds of millions of dollars a year advertising, tricking dumb consumers into thinking their products are a better option than a Tesla. And the entire industry do not like the fact that Tesla doesn't play the game. This is an incredibly compelling articulation of the current state of things in the auto industry. And this also is true of the mainstream finance media. Tesla doesn't play the game. Same of the Wall Street investors and analysts. Tesla doesn't play the game. They don't need to. How many times have I raved on this channel? Actually, I do that every day, but specifically relating to automotive analysts, demanding Tesla spoon feed them numbers to stick in their fucking spreadsheets instead of doing the thinking themselves. Because every other company does that, because every other company plays by the game and the rules of the game. Tesla does not. They do not need to. No fleet, no fluff, no feedback loop. Tesla doesn't have a traditional press fleet. They don't coddle writers with long lead loans. That's industry speak for giving a writer a car for a year to, quote, test reliability, aka bribe them. Or personally monogrammed swag bags. They don't even have a real PR department anymore. And when you... this is so good. And when you email their press contact, you get a poop emoji. Literally. It's actually true. Again, another example of the company not playing the game. They don't need to. The poop emoji is doing more damage to the automotive press corps than a Model S Plaid ever could. It's not just that Tesla isn't playing along. It's that they're thriving without the validation of the press. That hurts. My God, dude, this article is goated. So many facts being spat right now. I'm going to say that again. It's not just that Tesla isn't playing along. It's that they're thriving without the validation of the press. That hurts. Because for decades, car writers have built their identities on the belief that their opinion mattered, that their byline moved metal, that without their write-up, a car wouldn't sell. Then along came Tesla. No outreach, no awards campaigning. By the way, for those of you who don't know, the vast majority of products that are ever awarded something, that literally win an award, those on the committee selecting the award didn't magically just happen to come across said product. Instead, the product was pitched to the awards. Now, this is certainly a viable strategy, right? To nominate yourself or your product or your service for an award. But the vast majority of things that win awards, that's how it happened. It's just like the vast majority of horseshit stories you see in the fake news simultaneously across every network in the same night. Well, that's a weird coincidence. No, the story was pitched. So, no outreach, no awards campaigning, no sponsored surf and turf dinners, and yet somehow it became the best-selling car in the world. The ego economy of automotive journalism. From the outside, being an automotive writer seems like a glamorous job, and it has its perks. Press trips, 5-star hotels, exotic locales, and probably in some cases exotic locals too. A sense of authority. For many, that's enough. But the bubble breeds its own kind of weird. The circuit is filled with people whose personal lives are often as wrecked as the test mules they write about. Divorced, lonely, constantly searching for validation from PR reps, and a sense of self-worth from holding embargoed specs on a new crossover. Sit through a few of these trips and you'll start to notice what they actually talk about. Not chassis tuning, not suspension geometry instead. It's airline miles and hotel suites. How Hyundai flew them first class to Korea. The foie gras at the welcome dinner. You might hear some mention Apple CarPlay or rear seat legroom, but that's about as deep as it goes. Do they know how to drive? Do they know how to turn a wrench? No. Even on track days, when they're being coached by some of the best instructors in the world, those instructors are told not to correct them. Just smile and say, "Great line," as they apex 2 car widths wide and stomp the brakes halfway through the corner. That kind of gentle delusion creates monsters. Small, egotistical monsters with press badges and carbon keychains. My God, this article is ruthlessly on point. It's so delicious. And because no one ever tells them they're wrong, they start to believe their own press. They're important. They're discerning. They matter. By the way, money managing forms of sentient hair gel have left the chat. These are the folks who sit on award panels. They slap gold stickers on windshields that car makers use in ad campaigns, pretending it's a real metric of excellence. And the manufacturer plays along because the awards sell cars to people who still watch cable TV. That's a really nice way of saying retards, by the way. Just being honest here, translator here. Yep, translation, one end of the bell curve. The facts are the facts. And I should clarify, people on whom advertising is actually effective. Tesla doesn't care about your little trophy. Tesla doesn't court the awards. They don't schmooze the voting bodies. They don't ask for validation. They just build cars people actually want to buy. And that's the problem. If you're a legacy automaker, you need the press. You need them to say nice things. You need them to make your new compact crossover sound exciting. Tesla doesn't need to charm anyone. They've created a product people line up to buy. Without rebates, without dealer incentives, without glossy spreads in Motor Trend, etc. It's true. In the old system, the press and the automakers needed each other. But Tesla broke the loop. And that's why so many auto writers hate them, in addition to themselves. Not because the cars are bad, but because their entire existence undermines the illusion that the automotive press matters. God, this is such a good article, dude. Motherfucker, this guy's great. It doesn't help that most of the press leans left. Oh, bro, he's going there. While Elon Musk leans hard into the culture war. But this isn't just about politics, it's personal. Riders aren't Tesla customers. They're not even in the market. You can't lease a Model S on a freelance rate. You can barely lease a Corolla. Oh, bro, the facts coming out again hard. So you're flown to a resort, handed a $100,000 car to drive, wined and dined, told your opinion matters, and then you go home to your apartment, open your laptop, and write 1,000 words for $400. Oh, this is brutally accurate. The manufacturers are financing the millionaire lifestyle one press trip at a time, but only temporarily. Once the flight lands, you're back on the outside, reviewing a world you don't belong to. Tesla doesn't let you in at all. That makes them dangerous. Ooh, now this is good. The title of this section, Confessions of a Former Tesla Hater. I can kind of see where this is going before I even read it, right? Dude was in the industry, inheriting all of his opinions from his colleagues who hated Tesla because they didn't play the game. Then he started thinking for himself and went, wait a minute, bro, let's see. When I was deep in the automotive press circuit, attending every launch, flying around the world on someone else's dime, I was a Tesla hater too. Not because I'd driven one, but because everyone else, there we go, in the room hated them. And that's how the group worked. It was a quiet consensus. EVs were soulless. Teslas were poorly built. Elon was cringe. That was the script. Then I rode in one. Ironically, it was in Paris, on my way to the airport after a press launch of Jaguar's EV. The chauffeur picked me up in a Model S. It rode smoother than anything I'd driven that week. Quieter too. The driver, an actual professional, not a guy with a GoPro and a dream, had nearly 200,000 miles on it. Damn. It was his workhorse. He loved it. Said he hadn't paid for electricity in years, thanks to free supercharging. That was the first crack. I didn't say anything at the time. Of course, do that and you'll be ousted from the tribe. Back at the hotel bar the night before, everyone was griping about Tesla. Panel gaps, cheap materials, no soul, unreliable. I nodded along. But after I stepped off the press trip merry-go-round for a bit, I started burning through cars. Real ones, loud ones, Italian cars with 12 cylinders, German wagons with twin-turbo V8s and carbon ceramic brakes, some of the best machines ever built. Then I made the mistake of test driving a Model Y. I say mistake because I wasn't ready to like it. Oh, what a great insight. This is so true, by the way. Many of these alleged automotive journalists, it's the same story, right? They can't bring themselves to even consider the idea that Tesla would make a decent product because the groupthink, the herd mentality, Tesla bad, blah, blah, blah. Their entire identity is built upon trashing Tesla. I thought it would be boring, too rational, the kind of car that made sense instead of noise. But I loved it. Instant torque, no shifting, no gas stations, no guilt, no bullshit, just drive. By the time the turbos spooled on my AMG, the Tesla was already in another zip code at less than half the price. The next day I went on my computer and bought a Model Y Performance. The delivery experience was faster than a bathroom break. And I'm not talking about a big shit after Applebee's, bro. This is the greatest article of all time. No upsell. No dealership finance guy with a pen and 4-square worksheet. Just, here's your car. Have a nice day. And I remember thinking, how is this the same company my colleagues loathe? How is this the same car they talk so much shit about? Better product, fewer games. Let's be honest. Tesla is building cars that are quicker. True. Simpler. True. And in many ways better than their competitors. That's also true. They cut out the dealership sleaze. Accurate. They push updates over the air. That's also true, meaning the cars get better over time without you having to pay more. They've turned cars into rolling software platforms. Meanwhile, other automakers are still trying to make, quote, rear seat USB ports sound like innovation. And here's the kicker. It's working. The Tesla Model Y wasn't just the best-selling electric vehicle last year. It was the best-selling car in the world, period. Outselling every Camry, Corolla, and crossover. I mean, this is massive stuff, by the way. It's true, we know this, right? But think about this for a minute. It's at a price point above a typical Camry and Corolla. And it's a new technology, a lot of people, some trepidation about adopting an electric vehicle, yet still crushing it. And without Tesla spending hundreds of millions of dollars on ads or playing the fucking auto journalist game. Big. In Europe, in China, in the US, all of it. The Model 3 quietly became the cheapest car to own in America. Lowest cost per mile, lowest maintenance, and not a single dealership finance manager trying to upsell you nitrogen in your tyres. Are Teslas perfect? No. But neither are the car riders foaming at the mouth to see them fail. The irony is that the public doesn't care about car journalists nearly as much as car journalists care about themselves. People buy Teslas because they're fast, efficient, and a little bit culty. Not because some guy with an Aria helmet and an axe to grind gave it 3.5 stars on a blog no one reads. I almost feel like taking a quick detour, but we'll save that until the end. So, no shrimp then? If you really want to understand the resentment, go to any auto industry event and find the table with journalists. Wait until a drink or 3 and then ask them about Tesla. The PR reps will start to twitch. The riders will say things like build quality and panel gaps and steering feel. But what they're really saying is they didn't invite me. Because at the end of the day, this industry runs on ego, access, and a little bit of Chardonnay. Take away the access and all you're left with is the ego. Tesla took the toys and left the sandbox. And now the other kids are throwing tantrums. The truth is, Tesla doesn't need automotive media anymore. Actually, they never did. And when someone doesn't need you, they don't invite you. That's what really hurts. God, dude, this is the most glorious article I've read in years, if not ever, relating to Tesla. So on point. And by the way, now in completely unrelated matters, now that I've said my piece, we've gone through this article. What an absolute goated article, by the way. I just wanted to share a completely unrelated video I posted on X, featuring a very important automotive journalist who seems to be crying about the lack of shrimp flowing from Tesla. I'm just kidding. It's got nothing to do with Tesla or automotive journalists or being butthurt that they don't play the game at all. It's just a coincidence. So let's cue this totally unrelated coincidental clip that's got nothing to do with the exact subject of this article I've just read.
I just don't get on with these door handles. I'm never sure how to open them. And sometimes as well, they if you've opened it like this and as you shut it like that, they tend to bounce open again. Look. Maybe I'm just doing it all wrong. I mean, you shouldn't have to do it two-handed, right? Is there a better way of doing it? Oh.
A few moments later.
I've just looked online and found out how you're supposed to do it. So you do this. But that's 2 steps. Why don't I just go there for the handle and pull it? Why do I have to go there and there? Then it begs the question of why have that bit then? What's that bit for? Is that just to trick me?
No. They, Carwow and Matt, are trying to trick you and deceive their audience. That clip from this month, where Matt pretends and acts as if he's struggling to use a Tesla door handle and thinks that he needs 2 hands, and then pauses and apparently goes up to the internet to learn how to actually use a door handle, must have gone and watched himself 3 fucking months ago on the same goddamn channel, having no problem whatsoever opening and closing a Tesla Model Y door handle. I'm not even kidding. You want to see receipts? They're coming, motherfuckers.
So, listen to me open and close the door on the old one. Sounds slightly hollow. Now, have a listen to this one.
Sounds hollow indeed. I mean, Matt's words. How can anyone trust this fuck or this channel ever again? How stupid do they think their audience are for them to have a video a couple of months earlier this year when Matt is easily opening both the refresh Model Y and the previous Model Y door handle one-handedly over and over and over and over and over without a problem, and then to pretend 2 months later in a new video that he's retarded and always struggles to use the door handle and then has to pause the video recording to go look up on the internet how to open the door. Obviously, he went and watched the CarWow video 2 months earlier where he didn't seem to have a problem. This is straight up deception. Why would this totally unbiased car channel intentionally deceive their audience into having the false impression that Matt has difficulty understanding how to use a Tesla door handle? I wonder why they would do that. Watching the fake phony fucks on the CarWow channel pretend they don't know how to use a Tesla door handle, having literally uploaded a video 3 months earlier operating the same door handle on the same vehicle seamlessly and repeatedly, really hits different. Having read this incredible article, I reckon it's got to be goated. One of the best, if not the best article I've ever read discussing Tesla. No shrimp for you indeed. How awkward. Want more content? Early access? Bunch of perks? Click the links in the pinned comment. AG1 is awesome. I've been taking it daily now for more than 3 years. It's a great way to fill in nutritional gaps. It's packed full of vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients, plus has prebiotics, probiotics, and adaptogens to improve gut health, regularity, and help your body handle stress. I'm always looking for an edge to help me feel and perform my best, which is why I haven't missed a day of AG1 for more than 3 years. Just try it and see how you feel. Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR and get yourself a free 1 year supply of vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 travel packs.